Hey TechKnowStuds! In this lesson, we're going to take a look at punch cards. Now, you don't really need to know how to read punch cards or how they really work, so we're just going to take a look at the coolest part about punch cards, how a computer would read what's on the punch card. One thing to note about punch cards is that they're not binary. If they were binary, we would have 8 columns and we'd punch out a 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, those powers of 2. But instead, what we see on here is we see a column of 0 through 9. And then we would punch out one of those 0 through 9. So there's 10 digits there. So this is actually a decimal system. This card would be read into a machine, and then the machine would see these little punches along here and then interpret that into the code for the computer. The primary 2 methods of reading a card is usually through electricity or through light. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Now, the actual machine is going to look and operate a little differently than this, but this is going to get the point across. Now, what we have here is we've got this conductor, and I also have a little probe right here. And when I press these 2 together, it makes a complete circuit and will make a sound. So every time it makes that complete circuit, we're going to hear a sound. What I have here is a punch card that I punched out holes into. What we could do then is we could either drag the card or drag the probe across these. And we're going to see that every time it makes a connection, it now sends that signal to the computer. So that's how it would read the different punches into this card. Now let's take a look at how we would use light. What I have here is a laser, and then this is just something that's creating some vapor. This is representative of a photosensor that would actually detect whether there's light or not. And that's how it's going to read the card. Now, every time the light shines through, that sensor is going to pick it up and realize that there's a hole there. And then we're going to drag it across here, and the card is either going to block or shine through one of those holes, creating a signal for the computer to read. So that is how it reads it through light. Then we would have a number of these cards with all the different programming on the card that we'd feed into the machine to give it instructions on how it's going to operate.